Okay, guys. So in this video, what we are doing is we are discussing the question that came in your FMG 2021 exam. So we'll focus on the pathology questions. So if I say the question about something about this question paper, so question paper was a little bit tricky. There were less that question and there were less question from general pathology. So in fact, there were more questions from hematology. So in this video, we'll try to recollect all these questions. So just you can take a cross check. I told you before that never stop studying. Don't waste much of your time. So chilling time is over now. Focus on the studies again. So now let's start with the first question. That is biopsy taken from male patient with scrotal enlargement and normal alpha fetoprotein level, increased developed LDH. So these are the hints that is given in the question. So what is the type of tumor? This is a case of seminoma. So this is a male patient, scrotal enlargement, normally increased developed LDH. Okay, if I say a female patient with hard breast lump, and microscopy suggestive of signet ring cells. So sometimes they can also mention other words like single file pattern or Indian file pattern. So this is suggestive of intralobular carcinoma of breast. Intralobular carcinoma of breast. Okay, then you can see like a patient thyroid swelling. On histopathology, you will find orphan Ani-I nucleus. So this is the biggest hint that they are giving you. So remember this orphan Ani-I nucleus. It is just because of artifact. You can see this. It is not a normal routine finding, but it's an artifact which is seen in most of the routine cases of thyroid cancer. This is suggestive of papillary carcinoma of thyroid, and this is your most common thyroid carcinoma. Most common thyroid carcinoma, that is papillary carcinoma of thyroid. Coming to the next question, gamma radiation before blood transfusion. So understand this. We use gamma radiation to prevent the risk of graft versus host disease. TRALI is your transfusion-related acute lung injury, but we use gamma radiation to prevent GVHD. So this is the answer for this question. Okay, test which is used to find CD markers and type of immune system cells. Like we have CD markers. For this CD markers and this immune system cells, we use flow cytometry. So we use flow cytometry. This is an effective test to diagnose many different types of solid tumors and sometimes leukemias and lymphomas. Middle-aged man. So let's just try to find the hint in the question. Middle-aged man handling pulse and grains from a long period developed hepatocellular carcinoma. So just a clear-cut hint. So in fact, they're asking you what is the risk factor for hepatocellular carcinoma. So what is the name of carcinogen? So name of the carcinogen. This is again an indirect question. Repeat question came from past 2-3 years. This question is coming again and again, but this time it was asked indirectly in a clinical case format. So this is your indirectly they are asking you tumor marker for, oh sorry, not tumor marker. They are asking you carcinogen for hepatocellular carcinoma. The answer will be aflatoxin. Aflatoxin. Okay, then an easy question. Some easy questions. Surfactant is produced by type 2 pneumocytes. Type 2 pneumocytes. Okay, then we have in Takayasu. So there are different variants of Takayasu arthritis. So generally it is Takayasu type 2 arthritis. So generally you will see there will be involvement of ascending aorta and aortic arch. So Takayasu, remember Takayasu type 2 arthritis will involve ascending aorta and aortic arch. All are true about reticulocytes. So like this is like a question like, you know, reticulocytes, we use some special stain like brilliant crystal blue or new methylene blue for staining reticulocytes. So they contain RNA, that is true. They are stained blue in color. They don't have nucleus, that is also true. So what is not true is the size of 30 microns. So remember, if I say reticulocytes, their size is not 30 microns, it varies. Size vary from 8 to 12 microns. It is not 30 microns. The answer for this question will be size of 30 microns. Okay, then if I say a patient had bleaching, presented to emergency room with tachycardia, hypotension, bronchospasm. So understand this, they are telling you about the type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. So in type 1 hypersensitivity reaction, the main mediator is your histamine. So remember, type 1 hypersensitivity reaction, the main mediator will be your histamine. Okay, coming to the next question. It's like a man died on operation table, heart biopsy was done. Again, a big looking question. Look, it looked big. But by looking at this image, like you can see this image in almost every notes, every teacher will tell you this thing. The classical hint is given is apple green birefringis. Right? So this apple green birefringis, this is suggestive of your amyloidosis. So in cardiac amyloidosis, generally we see ATTR, right? ATTR type of amyloidosis, that is transthyretin amyloidosis. So this is cardiac amyloidosis. Okay, then understand this. Tall male with gynecomastia. No axillary and pubic hairs. On examination, testicular atrophy is seen. So these are symptoms suggestive of your Klinefelter syndrome. Again, an easy question. So there was one more question from Klinefelter syndrome that was asked, what is the karyotype? So remember the karyotype for this syndrome will be 47XXY. So karyotype or genotype will be What is our next exercise? So 2 questions from genetics that was line filter control. Spooning of nails. So this you can see the image. The nails becomes like a spoon. So spoon shaped nails. Spooning of nails is treated with. In other the spooning of nails, they call this koilonychia. And koilonychia, remember, is a feature of iron deficiency. The treatment is done by iron supplementation. So koilonychia is a feature of iron deficiency, and how you will treat this by iron supplementation. Patient presented with pallor means anemia, fatigue, malaise. So all these are features of anemia. Lab findings are decreased hemoglobin. So again, patient is clearly telling you that he is having some kind of anemia. There will be decrease in MCV. So understand this, the clear-cut index decrease MCV means it is Sheetal. Sheetal means sideroblastic. It is something from this. Sideroblastic, iron deficiency, thalassemia, anemia of quantities, and lead poisoning. Decrease MCH means hypochromicity. You can see how you will treat this. So this is basically your sideroblastic, not given the option. So basically this is iron deficiency anemia and how you will differentiate by iron supplementation. So I told you like thalassemia will also have the same picture, but we have a Mendelssohn index that we can differentiate iron deficiency anemia from thalassemia. In Mendelssohn index value will be less than 13 in case of thalassemia. It will be more than 13 in case of iron deficiency anemia. Pallor, fatigue, weakness, CBC report, decrease hemoglobin. Now question is changed. Increase MCV. Increase MCV means it is megaloblastic. Megaloblastic means remember B12 B9. So B12 is given the option. So answer will be B12 deficiency. Clear? 40-year-old male with weakness, lethargy, shortness of breath. Again, remember shortness of breath can also be a feature of severe anemia. Normal levels of methyl malonyl coenzyme A. So understand this, MMA level are normal in folate, and these levels are increased in B12. Homocysteine level will be increased in both. I repeat, how you differentiate B12 from folate deficiency? Folate is your B9. So first difference is in B12 deficiency, you will see MMA level will increase. Here it will be normal. A second feature will be clinical feature, that is you will see neurological manifestation. So CNS involvement is present, CNS involvement is not seen in B9. So answer for this question is, understand this, they are not mentioning any kind of neurological feature, only weakness, lethargy, shortness of breath. So no neurological feature is mentioned in this question. So what you can say, this is your folate deficiency and normal levels of B9. So this is a case of folate deficiency. Patient planned to undergo surgery. Lab findings are hemoglobin 6.5, MCV 108. MCV 108 means again, so this time examiner favorite topic was megaloblastic anemia. So understand this, MCV 108 means it could be B12 or B9. So next investigation will be either you can perform a serum assay of B12 or serum assay of B9. So basically in the question, there is given ferritin levels we do in case of iron deficiency, it's ruled out. Bone marrow examination we do when we suspect some kind of leukemic changes, ruled out. B6 level is not needed in this case because it's not microcytic. B6 level pyridoxine deficiency will be associated with sideroblastic anemia. So in this case, what you can do is you can monitor the level of serum B12. Clear? A 90-year-old man with cervical lymphadenopathy. Cervical lymphadenopathy, understand this. Cervical lymphadenopathy, it could be tuberculosis, it could be leukemia. But then they are mentioning the clear-cut and increased blast count means now tuberculosis is ruled out. Peripheral blood smear is shown here. You can see this type of cells. This cell is called as smudge cells or parachute cells. The smudge cells or parachute cells, these are seen where? These are seen in chronic lymphoblastic leukemia. Just understand this. If you want to just think it's, I told you like CLL is generally seen after 60-year-old. So that age is a first hint even in any clinical case. So remember, focus on the age, right? Focus on the image. Focus on the age. Okay, then this was a tricky question again. Asbestosis associated with adenocarcinoma of lung was not given in the option. So, you know, most common cancer with asbestosis will be adenocarcinoma of lung, but that was not given in the choice. Mesothelioma, your favorite, that was also not in the choice. So remember, this is associated with nasopharyngeal cancer. So remember this thing, like asbestosis is associated with nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Asbestosis is also associated with nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Okay, if I say the next question, ATP7B gene mutation. So this question I have not even written the explanation, CQs or explanation, because you know this. I hope all of you are correct. I have made the correct answer in this question. That is, it is a case of Wilson's disease. So this is a case of Wilson disease. ATP7B gene mutation, autosomal recessive condition, chromosome number will be 30. Okay, coming to the next thing. Histology given below suggestive. So you can see this is a histology suggestive of giant cell tumor. giant cell tumor. So this is a bone tumor, very dangerous type of bone tumor. We call them giant cell tumor. Cost-effective screening method for cervical cancer. So like I'm getting many different questions and options from different students. So to understand this question one by one, just try to understand this. If I say there are different options, so like most of the students are saying the answer pap smear. But remember, pap smear is not cost-effective. It becomes slightly expensive method, right? So pap smear is not a cost-effective method. Sometimes this pap smear will become extremely expensive method. So what is more cost-effective investigation? So if pap smear is given in the option, then you can pick this answer. But sometimes understand this pap smear, some boys are saying, some girls are saying that pap smear is not given in the option. Then the answer for this question will become self-collected HPV testing. Self-collected HPV testing. So in my opinion, this is a better choice than pap smear. If it is given, it will be the answer. If it is not given, then pap smear is going to be the answer. This is about your screening method for cervical cancer. Okay, again a question post-COVID patient. This I told you in the class, I told you in the YouTube videos that this will be a possible expected question in exam. The answer is clear cut. That is mucormycosis. This is one question which all students made correct. This is a case of mucormycosis. Hyperextensibility of joint and skin is seen in. So understand this question. If I say hyperextensibility means your bones, your joints, your skins, all these are hyperelastic, all these are movable. So this is like you can see hyper stretchable joint. These are features suggestive of a syndrome that we call this Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So these are features suggestive of a syndrome, and that syndrome is called as Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. These are features suggestive of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Remember, hyperextensibility of joint and skin. So, like sometimes they ask a question from this topic, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Basically, here you'll find affecting collagen type 3. So there are different variants. The mode of inheritance will be autosomal dominant. The mode of inheritance will be autosomal dominant. So generally, you will see the most common type. The most common type will be type 3. Most common type of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome will be type 3. Coming to the next question, below given histology suggestive of. So understanding this question, you can see this starry sky pattern. This is called starry sky pattern. So understand this, the star meaning is you can see the tumor cells. These are looking like a star. They stain blue. They look like a star, and you'll see they look like sky. So tumor cells will be looking like a sky, and you'll see the star. Star will be your tingible body macrophages. These tingible body macrophages will look like stars. So you can see these are the stars, and this is the sky. So the starry sky pattern. The starry sky pattern is seen in Burkitt's lymphoma. Burkitt's lymphoma, you know, Burkitt lymphoma is associated with a translocation, that is translocation 814. So understand this, 8B is the alphabet. From this B, you can make 8. Translocation 814. Okay, RBC can't pass through glomerulus because of their big size. Because of their big size, they can't pass through glomerulus. So easy question. Female patient with rash, fever, joint pain. So first just try to understand this. Rash, fever, joint pain. Female. Chest tightness, shrinking lung syndrome, medium-sized agitation on both sides of wall. So this is a clear-cut case of SLE. In SLE, you will see Lippmann sac endocarditis. In SLE, you will see Lippmann sac endocarditis. If you remember Lippmann sac endocarditis, you will see vegetation on both surface, right? Vegetation on both upper and lower surface of wall. We also call them vegetation on valve pocket. Fatigue, burning and tingling sensation in feet. What is the type of anemia? Again, you can see this burning and tingling sensation. These are neurological features. So this will be your B12 deficiency. This will be your B12 deficiency. Okay, this was the image-based question that they have asked. This is the image of rodent ulcer. This is the image of rodent ulcers. Epiphyseal cell carcinoma of skin. This is your rodent ulcer. So these are the questions that came. So again, the exam verdict, if I say the strike rate from your class notes, that is 100%. 100% of notes means 30 questions, 10% of the exams, so result will be beyond 30%. This is my verdict that I give. This time, FMG result will be more than 30%. So I wish you all the best. Keep studying. Even if you think you are passed, you will pass, but still study. Don't waste much time. Try to study in a softer way. Try to study like 2-3 hours a day. If you pass, you will not lose anything. So just focus, keep working hard, make your more future goals. This is from my side. Good luck, best wishes for your result. Thank you so much. Take care. Goodbye. Bye bye.